Chase Lehigh with the Blue Futon. And let's just say, if you know what movie's coming out this weekend, you know what is coming out of the box. We got some 4K Highway to the Danger Zone. Not Archer, Top Gun. Is it worth the rewatch? You've probably already seen this movie, so let's roll that intro. So Top Gun, what's it about? Very simple premise. Tom Cruise, Maverick, Goose, pilot program. Who's going to be the #1 Top Gun? Will it be Iceman? Will it be Maverick? This is a movie from 1986. You already know what's going to happen. You have volleyball scenes. You have sex scenes. You have fighter jet scenes. You have death. You have sadness. You have a love story. You just have ridiculous Tom Cruise 80s style movie. Did I like this movie? It's a fun movie. So this is a very interesting movie because some people absolutely go bonkers over this movie. Like, this was a childhood dream for some people. Like, the 80s was Top Gun. So with this movie, I'll give you the negatives of the movie first. It's kind of cliche, kind of silly on some scenes. Like the volleyball scene, did it need to be in there? No, but it was kind of fun to watch. I was watching a documentary about this film, and actually the love scene was a post-production thing because people thought it needed more sex stories and more love scenes. So if you see the scene in the elevator where they're basically talking, she has a baseball cap on, that's a post-production scene they decided to add after the fact to this movie to add more interest in the love style of filmmaking. So did that need to be in there? Personally, me, no. This is more of a story of Tom Cruise versus Val Kilmer, who's going to be #1 Top Gun. Also, with this movie, I think they said there's 7 scripts for this movie. It had the story ready to go in 83, 82, but it was sitting on the shelf until Paramount president decided to make it for $14 million. I do think the script is a little weak in some scenes. The whole Tom Cruise, a.k.a. having this midlife crisis kind of thing when Goose dies. To me, in real world scenarios, it happens. And I think the commanders, the colonels, the other captains in the flight school talk about the Vietnam stories are kind of prove yo, you're the kind of the hero. Shit's going to happen. It's time to get your shit together and just get on with your life, because if you think this is the only time you're going to see a pilot die, you are mistaken. So rather than the story being kind of cliche-ish and some of the stuff in the movie just being straight silliness, it is still an 80s movie at heart with great music, great action set pieces, and a pretty solid movie. I do think it's funny the Air Force tries to steal this movie because with the new Top Gun Maverick coming out, the Air Force is kind of like, hey, fighter pilots join the Air Force. And at that level, I think they're doing it for a reason, because you could become a fighter pilot more easily than the Navy. Even if you don't become a fighter pilot, there's still a lot more aircraft in the Air Force and the Navy to actually fly. If you want to do Marines and Army, that's more helicopters. But then Navy, of course, is more on the lines of fighter jets, while Air Force, you have the heavies, you have the A-10s, you have the F-15s, F-16s, F-22s, F-35s, C-130s, C-17s, KC-135s, KC. So you have a lot of choices in the Air Force to choose from. So I can see why they're going more of the Air Force route of hey, come be a pilot if you want. This is more of a, fun little nitpick of this movie. The 4K transfer completely works. There are some grainy scenes as a whole, when it's dark out. But when it's you see the sunset in Miramar, California, there are some nice shots of that in the hangar. But just take this movie for a grain of salt when looking at believability of, if you want to join the military and you want to be a fighter pilot, you got to make sure your health is good, you're not colorblind, you have no medical deficiencies and everything like that. Make sure you can last the G, because if you can't do the G's, you can't be a fighter pilot or even a pilot in general. A lot of medical problems and everything like that. And if you do become in the military or do decide to go in the military and you don't do that, there's still plenty of jobs out there, because let's be honest, pilots aren't the see-all, be-all of the Air Force. There's a lot of things you have to do to make sure those pilots are in the air. And the Thunderbirds, I did work with them. They are pretty much prima donnas. So when Val Kilmer did say about egos of fighter pilots are worse than actors, I could kind of see that. I thought, oh shit. I mean, Val Kilmer's ego when he was younger seemed like it was pretty high up in there. But fighter pilots' egos, yeah, they're pretty high. They don't have to do OPRs. They don't do their paperwork until their majors. And then they're well, what's this system? What's this system? And then they're the only ones that get 4 stars. Other career fields only get 1 or 2 stars. So Yeah, even though they don't really do their OPRs ever, they got secretaries. You can tell I'm a little bit salty. Anyway, Top Gun overall, it's a fun time. I could see why some people see this as the holy grail of like movies back in the day, but to me, it was an alright movie. It was pretty good. So Top Gun will receive a 3.5 out of 5 with Futons equals at 70%. So see the critics' news scores gave this one. So you have critics a 57%, very interesting with 67 of them. Audience score 83% with over 250,000. Here's critic consensus. Though it features some of the most memorable and electrifying aerial footage shot with an expert eye for action, Top Gun offers too little for non-adolescent viewers to chew on when its characters aren't in the air. Yeah, it's pretty much the story. Even they talked about it in the documentary and special features where the story was kind of the biggest fault of this movie. Like when they had the first cut, there was no story. It's just like badass footage of like in the air combat, and they didn't know what to do with on the ground. Hence adding the love story and everything like that. But with this new Top Gun Maverick, I think it might do better than Batman opening weekend. This weekend, I cannot find a showing. I'm seeing it tomorrow, but I'm just saying, holy cow, it is more sold out than the Batman. It is more sold out than Doctor Strange. Maybe it's my part of the state and city I'm living in, but holy moly, macaroni and cheese. Anyway, 57, 70, 83. Chase Sock with the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of Blue Futontopia. You Blue Futonians. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. And thank you for watching. It means the world. Top Gun. Have you seen it? First one, second one. Are you interested in being a Maverick? Let's find out. Bye.